As promised, I'm going to show you the exact conversation I had with the admin from the Scentsy Freedom of Speech page. Mind you, a little bit of a backstory. I was already a member, but had gotten removed. She does tell me the reason, but I went to the source, and apparently that's not even the truth either. I'm going to start with the messages that actually led up to the conversation with that admin. So the conversation was with Log Home Mom and Dad. I'm sure you guys are familiar with who this is. I had messaged her on YouTube, encouraging her to just keep being herself, keep speaking out. And so she's like, hey, are you in the Freedom Facebook group? And I'm like, the one ran by Deb? I got removed like a year ago. No idea as to why. And she's like, well, I can message Deb. I can get you back in. What's your name? I gave her my name. And I said, thanks. I'll message her sometime today. Ask why. Okay. So that's that portion of it. And so I end up messaging Deb. And I'm like, hey, I've got some questions. You have time to talk? And she's like, yeah, I got to go pick up my daughter, whatever. Okay. So I didn't hear from her. So the next day around 8:00 at night, I'm like, hey, here's just a few questions. Now, I asked 3 questions, but I'm not going to tell you the second one because that's completely irrelevant. On top of the fact that if that person wants to speak out, they will. So my first one, I said, I'm curious why I was removed from the group. I'm assuming because I was in Melaleuca. I said, I haven't been with him in over a year. I had some stuff that went on and I just got the ick from it all. And then at the end of all of that, I said, has anything about the group changed? Can I be put back in? What have I missed? And let me just say, I was not expecting her to completely go off on me. My second question was about another admin within the group. I'm like, hey, she played a really big role in that group as well. The exact wording would be, she was a part of the reason the group even started, plus the lawsuit led people to leaving. Obviously, aside from you, because you ran that group. But you get my point. Now, mind you, I never gave credit to this person. I never said she was the sole reason for the group. I had actually mentioned this other person being an admin in the group because she was really knowledgeable on the legal side of everything. So I didn't see any harm in what I said on my message. Now the first response she deleted, okay? And I'm going to put every screenshot up. So I don't remember what her first original response was, but the next one is, are you fucking kidding me? This was my group that used to be a Whiffbox group. Thank you very much. I handed over a very successful 26K group to Scentsy members so they could have a voice, which I'm well aware. I said, I didn't mean for it to become a whole argument. I wasn't saying she was the sole reason for it. My lights just turned off. I mentioned you started the group and all of that. She said, blank played zero role to the formation of this group. I added blank as an admin because you recommended her, which is true. And I just said that. She said you were removed by blank for copying her posts and not giving her credit because you were trying to get monetized. Which I have proof that I was monetized before any of this, which I'll also put in here. I said because she was super educated, I'm really not wanting to fight. I was simply saying she played a huge role with you. Sole reason for it, okay, Mackenzie. Where did it go? I said I was already being paid by Facebook, and what post was I copying? I'm so confused. She goes, this conversation is done. I'm absolutely done. Wasn't really pissed off at you before. Now I am. Your perception of reality and mine do not align. That's what it boils down to. I said, you literally came at me just now because you thought I was giving her all the credit. I'm not and never will give her all the credit. Very interesting perceptions, though. Fuck off. Move on. This is my group. Always has been my fucking group. Period. End of discussion. By the way, blank booted you, not me. I said, I don't know what's going on right now. If I worded it wrong, I can explain what I meant. I really don't like fighting. She sent some crying emojis. Don't have to fight. I'm done talking to you. Have a nice life. I said, I was simply asking why. It's not so much as to who did it. I didn't copy anything. And I said, this was like the last message, okay? Honestly, there was no need for you to completely blow up on me like that. If you weren't sure what I meant by that, you could have asked that and I would have explained it to you. I know you started that group. I never said you didn't start it. I never gave blank all the credit. I know that she played a big role in it along next to you because she was super educated about things and had more knowledge in certain areas. So that's why I recommended her to the group and take part in it. And I put in there, I'm like, I'm not saying you aren't smart either. I know that you have a wide range of knowledge. I simply wanted to know if I could get back in the group and keep up with everything because I dealt with some of the same stuff as everybody else is dealing with. If I had known that she felt that I was copying, I would have figured out what post was the problem and either A, deleted it, or B, fixed whatever it was. I always give credit to people if I'm using their words. And like I said, I ended up talking to said person, and I guess that's not what happened. But like I said, it really doesn't matter what or why. I just wanted back in because now I'm starting to finally feel a little bit more comfortable talking about things that have happened or just sharing my advice. So, there's my message asking about certain things, and there's all of the deleted messages which I just read to you. You're telling me that this person is welcoming and cares about consultants, yet me being a past rep gets treated like this? She is no better than the consultants that she is talking about. You may want to keep this perfect image for everybody else, but I'm not afraid to come out and show them who you really are. I did not deserve that kind of treatment, and you know that. Oh, and to make things even worse, I ended up going back to the log cabin lady. I think her name is Diane. I could be wrong on that. And I messaged her, and I'll even put the screenshots up on here. I said, yeah, I messaged her and she was a complete jerk. I screenshotted all the responses to me before she could delete them. I think I can live without the group, or you can update me here and there. I'll follow you for updates, babe. Keep speaking out with a heart. She goes, Deb, a jerk? She is one of the nicest people I have ever met. Shocking you would say that. And listen to this. I hope you didn't come after her aggressively. Me? Come after her aggressively? Y'all just saw the text, so you tell me. She said, it takes a lot to run a group like that. She does it very well. Good luck to you. I said, hey, sorry it took me so long. I had some meetings. Please understand I don't go after anyone aggressively. I'm not like that. I came here wanting to have a civil conversation, and I'm actually quite upset that you assume that this is how I present myself. If you'd like, I can send you the exact conversation I had. I agree that it can take a lot to run a group like that, especially very large. I'm sure she has dealt with quite a bit of drama. She's done a lot for that community. However, even prior to me being removed, there was a lot of mean girl energy where there shouldn't have been coming from admins. Although I never kept track of it, I do remember them removing people for like simple small disagreements, or if they were even choosing to write it out, which isn't much of a freedom of speech page if you can't allow people who agree but also want to write it out and stay within the group. She said that wasn't Deb, I can assure you, and she worked hard to clean the group up. I mean, it was a whiff box group, and Heidi was even in that group, until Consultants was asking questions and Deb tagged Heidi to answer, and then Deb was deactivated, which I knew. So it became a freedom of speech, which was much different type of posting. She has spent months making it a safe space. Deb is a very, very nice woman. I have the pleasure of calling her a friend. She works tirelessly and is not compensated in any way, which we know that. I then came back and said, I'm not saying she didn't do a lot of work. I know how it all started because I was once a member. However, it is in fact her that I talked to. And again, I will send you the exact conversation we had, including proof that she deleted her responses and blocked me. That's extremely unprofessional. I just said, thank you. I appreciate your time to try to reach out for her for me. And she just said, you are so welcome. And that's the entire conversation between two different people. I'm just curious because How are you going to call out consultants who have the same behavior that you just gave to me? I'm going to make this very clear. If you come at me a type of way and you think deleting it is going to hide who you are, I am much faster than you. And I hope if anybody has ever dealt with Deb directly who's been treated like that, will speak out. And there's one person particularly in mind that I reached out to recently that I sure as fuck hope she talks about it. I promise you, this perfect image that you keep up will fall.